thank you all for assisting me, even though I'm a stranger. You've given me valuable information.
It's the least we can do after you saved our lives. If there's anything else you want to ask, go right ahead.
I do have some questions left to ask. Before that, could the three of you introduce yourselves? I'd like to see if there's a pattern to how the killer chose their targets.
I'll go first. My name's Zoe. I used to be a soldier in the Defense Force, but now I'm just working a regular desk job at a private company. Don't let that fool you, though. I've earned my stripes.
I'm Jesse, currently working as an internet information broker. I'm still pretty new at it, though, so I can't think of any reason someone would target me.
My turn? I'm Erin. I was also in the Defense Force, but now I'm unemployed. Actually, I have a question for you all. Did you see my friend when you were in the Hollow? She's about my height, with shoulder-length blonde hair and a mole under her eye. We were kidnapped together, but I can't find her anywhere now.
If I recall correctly, we didn't come across anyone like that in the Hollow, among both the survivors or the bodies.
It's all right. I'll keep looking. I hope she's okay. We were always inseparable. We even planned to visit Scott Outpost together for Remembrance Day. I never thought something like this would happen.
Remembrance Day? What's it about?
As the name suggests, it's a day organized by the Defense Force for the families of deceased soldiers and veterans. People gather to mourn their loved ones who died in the fall of the old capital and find comfort in each other's company.
I didn't know the Defense Force did that. Huh. Maybe I should go check it out.
If I can't find her anywhere else, I'll head to Remembrance Day alone. Maybe she'll show up there. Was your missing friend also a member of the Defense Force? Yes, she and I were in the same squad. Obsidian Division's Cartis squad.
This sounds like a series of murders targeting the Defense Force. But Jesse wasn't with the Defense Force.
No, you're probably not far off. Jesse claims to have been up front, but he neglected to mention he was once part of the Defense Force. Right, Jesse?
Well, that's... I just don't like bringing up my past in the Defense Force. It's not like I'm trying to hide it. They're just memories from my time there that I'd rather forget. I was part of Obsidian Division's Noct Squad. That's the absolute truth.
I was also in the Obsidian Division, Impera Squad. I don't know who those who died in the Hollow were, but it seems the killer really is targeting members of the Defense Force.
Wait a second. If I remember correctly, during the fall of the old capital, didn't our 3 squads work together on a mission outside Hollow Zero?
We did? I don't really remember.
I have a vague memory of it, but there were so many people on the mission, I don't remember your faces.
Thank you all for the information. I'm starting to see a pattern in the killer's choice of targets. But there's something else I need to ask. I came to this hollow because someone I'm searching for sent me its location. And that person was likely being held by the killer as well. Did you happen to see anyone else?
You're not giving us much to go on. At least tell us what kind of person you're looking for, male or female, what they look like. Can't offer much help without that.
Sorry, I don't have much else to share. Even so, if any of you remember anything else that may be useful, please let me know. This is very important to me.
You don't even know who they are, yet you're so determined to find them. Is it really going to be an issue if you can't find this person?
Maybe. I've been searching for someone for a long time. They might be the key to achieving my goal.
I see. Whatever happens, I hope you find them. If there's anything I can do to help, just let me know.
Thank you. But please, prioritize your own safety. If the killer is targeting former Defense Force members, there's a good chance they'll come after you again. Stay vigilant.
Of course. Once I've checked out Remembrance Day, I'm locking myself in my room and throwing away the key.
Phaethon, you've already been to the Hollow and made it back safely?
Did you run all the way here? Do you need a moment? We've already been to the Hollow, but unfortunately, we haven't found the client yet.
I'm fine. Did you find any clues there?
There are traces left behind. Signs of a kidnapping. It's very likely the client was involved.
Yeah, it seems the client was kidnapped, brought to the Hollow, and later moved again. We're still looking for clues. But why did you rush over to the store? Did you find anything?
Well, just take a look for yourself. I checked a map of New Eridu. This spot, it's another Hollow entrance.
We've been chasing dead ends with absolutely no clues, and now one just appears out of nowhere? Something smells fishy here.
You're sure it's just a disappearance for now and nothing more serious has happened, right? If that's the case, the situation is still manageable. No matter how shaky the clue is, let's keep investigating. Just be careful. Any casualties and this will become something beyond our control. At that point, stop the commission and contact me. I'll bring in some professional Hollow experts to deal with the situation.
Thank you for not revealing what really happened to that information broker.
Don't mention it. But I have to ask, why are you doing this? Calling for help might have been the safest way to handle the situation.
The killer is a sniper who has no qualms about taking lives. Judging by the victim's injuries, it's clear they know how to deal a fatal blow and how to inflict pain without causing death. Most Hollow Raiders lack experience dealing with snipers. If they encounter the killer, it's likely to end in a difficult fight, or worse, casualties. And besides, asking for help from others would only delay the search. The client is at risk right now, so I think we should follow the clues and enter the Hollow as soon as possible to ensure their safety.
I helped you keep this from Shepard, but I have to admit, it's just too dangerous. What if this lead is a trap? Who even knows who's really behind the client's messages anymore?
I understand, I really do. But what if we're late and something happens to the client?
Why is the client so important to you, Charon? Would you be willing to tell us? Are you so set on finding them because they're connected to the person you've been looking for?
The client's true identity might be the very person I've been looking for. And if not, they most certainly have some vital information. Since leaving the military, I've spent years searching for my missing teammates. They were more than just comrades who trusted me with their lives. To me, someone raised as an orphan, they were family. I've scoured countless hollows and every corner of New Eridu to find them, but I've never found a single lead. Until I met you and heard that melody on the harmonica. It's called Homecoming. My squad leader composed it. Only our squad knew it. And yet that client of yours not only knows the song, but also gave you the sheet music. Please, Proxy. This client is the only lead I have left. I'm certain my teammates are still alive. If this trail goes cold, I don't know when I'll get another chance to reunite with them.
I get how anxious you must feel. Let's face this together. But this time, we really need to be extra careful.
Thank you, Proxy. I feel much better knowing I have your support. You can trust me. I'll protect you if the killer is really waiting for us in the Hollow. We'll make it out in one piece. I am the Eye of Obel.
I would never turn.
I'm at your Thank you for the recognition.
Looks like there's something here. Is this a communicator?
Proxy, look at this. A communicator left right at the hollow's entrance.
Why is there a communicator here? It doesn't look like it was randomly left behind.
There's hardly any dust on its surface, which means it was only placed here recently. It looks like someone wants us to use it.
Ah, such decisiveness. Following random location info without even thinking twice. I'm glad, Sniper of Liar Squad.
Liar Squad? What's that? Wait, who are you?
Sniper. Or should I say Charon now? Haven't you shared your past with our dear Proxy? If introductions aren't your strong suit, I'd be happy to show you how. You can call me Grim Vulture, the one behind this string of murders. You see, I've been working my way down a list, crossing off names. And now, Charon of Liar Squad, your name is next.
Looks like you've done your homework on me. Just because my presence interfered with your plan, you've decided to take me out for good?
I thought you were just going to be another obstacle in my way. But now, with you in my sights, this must be some kind of destiny.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I'm looking for someone. Given that you're waiting at the hollow entrance they shared, I'm guessing you have them. If you hand them over, perhaps we can make a deal.
So your version of making a deal is stalling for time to locate me and lining up your shot? Can't say I'm surprised. After all, that's exactly what I plan to do too. You seem to have rather unique eyes, but you'll never get the chance to hit me. After all, no one's better at counter-sniping than me.
Seems talking won't resolve this, but I'm not averse to using force.
Now that's the spirit! If you're looking for someone, why not search the hollow for clues? Providing you can survive both my attacks and those of the Ethereals, of course. Oh, and I've prepared a little gift for all your trouble. I hope you still have that determined look on your face after seeing it.
Watch out for Grim Vulture taking shots from ambush! Whoa, is there nothing we can do?
I'll take point.
In position. Ammo.
Ether vision activate.
Apologies. Awaiting order.
I found a box. Something feels off about it.
remember what's inside the box, right? Your loyal teammate's cap. The one Sticks always wore. Curious as to how he died? I'll tell you. He took his own life. Well, it wasn't much different from being off the materials.
Stand still.
Don't hesitate.
Ethereals had almost completely taken over his body. He was being covered in ether crystals. His aura was almost fully formed.
Copy.
He didn't want to become an Ethereal, so he raised the cannon he was oh so proud of, with just one last shell inside.
Another high-pressure tank. And a lot of ethereals have already been drawn to it.
We did it, Proxy. Let's keep moving. I want to catch that murderer as soon as possible.
favorite gloves. It wasn't easy getting my hands on them. As expected of this beautiful commander, even her gloves are stylish.
Apologies.
Fire ready.
Such a pity. In the end, because her hands were missing. Oh, don't you think that's a shame, little sniper?
Fury.
Not worth my time.
Such beautiful hands. No longer hold a sword. Ethereal's gnawed off her arms and part of her leg as well.
Incoming threat.
But she still runs the backbone. She stood tall. And death. It's just as I said. She died from multiple fatal wounds. Even the most beautiful flower without protection won't it.
Get behind me. I'm burning.
Do you think I'm telling the truth or a lie this time?
How long do you intend to keep up this game of cat and mouse? I'll be coming to your hideout soon. Wipe that smile off your face and wait. Wait and see what I'm going to do.
Reaction! Hurry up, Flight. I've got one final surprise location for you. I'm sure you figured out the route to get to me. That's right. The surprise is at the end of the road.
In position.
Congratulations! You found the third box. Inside is... Who was it again? Oh, right. A piece of bloodied fabric from Cocytus's clothes and some damaged engineering gear stained with Leafy's blood. There weren't enough boxes, so I had to cram them together. They're just a medic and an engineer, not exactly combat material, right? Surely you're not mad, are you?
Enough already! Using her squad mates, her family to mentally torture her? That's vile. How much longer are you planning on doing this?
Oh dear, did I go too far? Oh, my sincerest apologies. It's just, watching you plunge headfirst into my trap was so entertaining. I may have gotten a bit carried away, you know? Relax, the person you're looking for isn't here, and those are just fakes. I didn't actually take them from her comrades. Her comrades are long-since corpses in the hollow, after all. How could I possibly have gotten hold of their clothes? A decisive strike to be sure. But as I've already said, your awareness, sight, and experience mean nothing in front of a more skilled sniper.
I didn't expect to kill you so easily. There was a subtle change in your ether fluctuations the moment I fired. That was all I needed. You knowing my past makes me feel sick. But after seeing that you're just a coward who feels fear from another's killing intent, it doesn't bother me as much anymore.
Coward, you say? How fascinating! You were little more than a hollow shell before, but now that you've bared your teeth, you've started looking somewhat respectable. I know your composure is nothing more than a facade. You've never truly faced the weight of your comrades' deaths, have you? I bet your mind is now filled with their dying screams.
Her squad is still alive. You can drop the act. Why are you so fixated on Charon? Just because she used to be in the defense force? She has nothing to do with your target.
Nothing to do with it? Then why don't you go ask her about it? What surprises me more is you actually believe her teammates are still alive. Don't tell me she dragged you into all this danger without telling you anything.
Up.
If she won't tell you, I will. Those so-called alive squad mates of hers went missing during the fall of the old capital. I'm sure you know exactly what that means. When the old capital fell, countless Defense Force soldiers were either killed by ethereals or became them. The surviving soldiers, struggling to defend themselves, never had the opportunity to carry their comrades' bodies out of Hollow Zero. Obviously, her squad mates, the members of Liar's Squad, were among the dead. But since their bodies were never found, she insists they're still alive, even going as far as to deceive her own proxies. It's laughable.
I didn't lie to the proxy. They're alive. I have proof. Someone like you could never understand.
I could never understand? Huh. You think it's hard to understand your childish thought process? If you really have solid proof, why not tell me? Come on, let's hear it!
My eyes. I lost nearly 90% of my vision during the fall of the old capital. But in return, I gained the ability to see what others can't. Every second of every day for years, I've seen my squad mates. Not as fleeting shadows, but vivid and lifelike. They've never disappeared. They're alive, waiting for me to find them. Why else would I have been given these eyes?
That's your proof? Did you hear that? Proxy hiding in the bamboo. She spent years chasing after people who couldn't possibly exist, all because of some ghostly visions. You'd rather believe those visions of your teammates are real-time projections than accept that they're dead. What if I told you the way I described their deaths before was the absolute truth? Will you finally face reality? Or will you keep fooling yourself, believing in ghosts? I guess you'll keep deceiving yourself, because that's how you survive.
I'm not lying to myself. I really
want to find your squad mates who have been missing for years and were officially declared dead? You couldn't protect them when the old capital fell, and now you're just making up stories to fool yourself. To give yourself some so-called reason to go on, to latch on to any stupid excuse. You're just a selfish, naive coward who did nothing and couldn't do anything when your comrades were dying! Giving up already? At least you've got a shred of dignity left. Nothing disgusts me more than a useless hypocrite. Enough of this. Time to die, coward.
Charon is not a coward. Someone who'd enter perilous hollows just to find what they seek. Someone who'd play music to console a dying soul, despite the pain in their eyes, is anything but a coward. At the very least, she's far braver than a criminal like you, who hides in the shadows, enjoys torturing others, and is constantly in fear of being caught.
Proxy,
Your proxy sure has a way with words. I won't waste any more of my breath. Just die already.
I've completed analysis of the surrounding fissures. Charon, snap out of it. We can use that fissure to escape.
Fissures? When did you... Still trying to play tricks.
Charon, do you want some hot cocoa? I'm sure you're exhausted after such a tough fight. You should get some rest.
thanks, but I'm fine.
Don't listen to Grim Vulture. They'd say anything to get under your skin. Once we start doubting the truth, we've fallen into their trap.
No, Proxy. I think Grim Vulture has a point. Maybe it's all just in my head. The things Grim Vulture left. When I touched them, I was reminded of the day the old capital fell. I felt the same sensation when I touched an injured comrade. I tried to shake off that feeling, but the truth is, I can't stop thinking about the possibility that all my squad mates are dead.
Would you be willing to share more? What really happened to you and Liar Squad on the day the old capital fell?
That day, in the first hour Hollow Zero started expanding, Defense Force HQ thought it was just a normal Hollow disaster, and thought they could suppress it with the standard amount of troops. Liar Squad was among the first troops sent there. Before we left, our superiors promised reinforcements would be on the way to support us in combat, so we didn't need to worry too much about facing the Ethereals. But soon after we began the mission, we realized things weren't going to go like we thought. The ethereals came at us like an endless tide. The hollow expanded beyond control. And more importantly, the reinforcements never came. The Defense Force troops outside the hollow soon realized this was no ordinary disaster. Hollow Zero was devouring Eridu at horrifying speed. The reinforcement plan was called off, and the promised troops retreated. Honestly, even if they had come to help, it wouldn't have changed anything. I watched as members of the advanced force around me died one after another or were corrupted into ethereals. Our squad slowly lost the strength to maintain formation. I was a weak point in our formation. An ether shot fired by an ethereal hit my eyes, corrupting them. Because of that and several other wounds, I shortly lost consciousness. I'm not sure how long I was out, but just before losing my vision, I briefly regained consciousness. The last thing my eyes saw was my squad mate standing in front of me, looking back. When I woke up again, I was already back at base. The higher-ups detonated the Shiryu pillars, and finally managed to bring Hollow Zero under control. I don't know who rescued me from the Hollow, but none of my squad mates had made it out. For some reason, the image of my squad mates being the last thing I saw has stayed in my mind. It must be some kind of sign. A sign that they're still alive. Don't you think? They must have continued fighting after I fell unconscious, eventually getting lost in some hollow and losing contact with the main force, left to wander between the various hollows of New Eridu. That must have been what happened, right? The Defense Force? Civilians? No one believes me. So I decided to find them myself. The reason behind these eyes, it's got to be to guide me to finding them still alive. Am I wrong, Proxy? Are these eyes pointless? I knew that's what you thought. Interpreting what my eyes see as proof my squad mates are still alive is just wishful thinking. But if they're really gone, why would I have been given these eyes, which bring nothing but pain? If they're truly no longer alive, how can I apologize to them in person? Tell them I'm sorry. Sorry for being so weak. Sorry that I failed to protect them. Their faces are all so blurry. I can't see their expressions. I can't even bear to look at them. If their final look at me was filled with resentment and disappointment, I wouldn't know how to handle it.
Kiran, listen to me. Even if everyone else thinks you're wrong, Wise and I will never dismiss your determination to find your squad mates. You don't need to make any justifications, because someone close to us is missing too, and we desperately hope she's still alive. Even if the whole world doesn't understand, we will never give up. But I also think being consumed by this obsession, unable to move forward, that's not what those who matter to us would want.
Belle is right. Listen, Charon, you're such a kind person. Maybe that's why you feel responsible for protecting everyone and blame yourself when you can't do enough. But you don't have to carry it all on your own.
Yeah, right now, the best thing you can do is trust us. We can be sure that Vulture hasn't killed the client yet. As long as we have that lead, there's still hope. We'll support you. No one can dismiss your determination or will. No matter how things turn out, we'll stand by your side and we'll face it together.
Proxy, thank you. I feel better now. At the very least, I want to keep investigating. I'm not just going to stop here.
Sorry to disturb you at this hour. Did you go investigate that new hollow? How's it going? Oh, never mind. The client just shared a new location with me on Knock Knock.
They're pretty eager, huh? Which hollow is it this time?
No, it's not a hollow. If I'm reading this right, this location is Scott Outpost.
Scott Outpost? Isn't that managed by the Defense Force and White Star Institute? What's Grim Vulture up to?
It's Remembrance Day. Don't you recall what Aaron said before? They're holding an event right now, and the place will be open to the public.
So, they're not trying to lure us into a hollow this time. What's the deal? Are they trying to taunt us?
Whether it's a provocation or a trap, I'm not missing any chance to face Grim Vulture. Proxy, will you go with me?